And in Syria, what did Isil, what did Al-Qaeda do when they entered Syria? What did they do to women? What did they do
Yeah,
to
they
the...
did horrible things. They took Yazidis and they raped them and they sold
That's
them
because they
and they...
followed this. Why don't you be honest? They were doing what your prophet said here. You just said it's horrible. So then why are you still a Muslimah? All right. Now, what's the other question?
Okay, the other question, and I'm sure a lot of... So people keep bringing up this verse, Deuteronomy 22, 28, 29,
No, don't tell me
the
that.
50 shekels. Yes, and
So
a lot of people, like,
yeah.
I don't like on TikTok every single day, a lot of people bring that verse up.
Yeah.
And like
Well,
I did read it, but I don't know, it feels weird.
yeah. Well, here it is. Number one. Now, I'm going to answer it, but then I'm going to tell you, you know what religion sanctions rape? I already wrote an article on this too. See, all these have been covered. No, the text has nothing to do with rape. That's a lie. Because if you read Deuteronomy 22, 28, 29 in its context and the parallel, Exodus 22, 16 to 17, here. But now, if this is kind of weird and troublesome, you're going to have to leave Islam if you're honest. And that's between you and God. Okay. If you actually look at the words used, I know the NIV says very bad translation. And you look, I give you the words, tafaz, what they mean, shakab, what they mean and do not mean. And I show you it does not mean rape. It means seducing a woman. Now, you can seduce a woman in one of two ways. You can force a woman, that would be rape, or you can keep sweet talking and seducing a woman until she finally gives in, because I can't use you as an example, you're Muslimah. In the West, sadly, you have men who will keep pursuing women and will entice them. The word can mean entice them and try to manipulate them emotionally to give in to their advances. So they sleep with them. When they sleep with them, they're done with them. How do I know? Because of the words used, and I show it to you there, and the parallel, because this command was first given in Exodus 22. Deuteronomy simply comes and clarifies what was said earlier. Here it is, Exodus 22, 16 to 17. If a man entices a virgin who's not betrothed and lies with her. See, and what is the word entice? To persuade. It's not talking about rape. It's talking about a man taking advantage of a woman emotionally and enticing her and persuading her by telling her what she wants to hear, deceiving her into then trusting him so he can have sex with her. Now, in that context, the man then has to marry her and cannot divorce her, or the father can ask for a dowry. It has nothing to do with rape. That's a misinterpretation of the text. And I just gave you the article to prove it. So I'm not making things up. And it's not just my view, because I know people will quote certain people, certain commentaries, but here I quote commentaries that show that I'm not the first one to come up with this explanation. Deuteronomy 22, 28, 29, Study Bible, New Interpreted Study Bible. Preceding legislation dealt with case rape involving women already married or engaged. The ruling outlined here is addressed in case seduction in which it is assumed that the woman was or may have been consenting. It has nothing to do with rape.
Okay.
But now, hold on. Now that I've showed you from the language, the Hebrew and the context and the parallel, your religion allows you to rape married women and women who are not married that you've taken in captivity and sell them off. Are you okay with that?
I do know what you might be talking about.
I don't know if you know.
Quiz me. You don't need to show me. I don't know exactly what you're talking about and what verse.
Okay, so are you okay with your religion then here? Because it's Surah An-Nisa 424. Forbidden for you are women or even except those whom your right hands possess. Now, you don't need to guess because you're a Sunni Muslimah. The Sahih tells you how this was applied. This is Sahih Muslim. So your religion is the one that says you can rape women and even married women. So are you still a Muslimah? Here it is. Sahih Muslim. chapter 9, it is permissible to have intercourse with a female captive after it is established that she's not pregnant. As long as she's not pregnant, and if she has a husband, then her marriage is annulled when she is captured. Now, I'm going to read the hadith, but I'm going to ask you a question. I want to see how honest you are. And you look honest. Imagine you're not a Muslimah. Let's say you're a Jewish woman, or you're a Hindi, or you're a Christian. And I come in, I'm the caliph. I come in with the Muslims. I attack your city. I take you captive. I take your mother captive. I take your sister captive, and you're married. And then we say, because we've taken you captive, your marriage is now annulled. It's canceled because we own you, and we now have sex with you and sell you off. Would you be okay with that?
That scenario sounds horrible, and
Well, that's
I'd rather unalive myself than being touched by someone that is not my husband.
So then you just condemn Muhammad to hell because that's what he did. Here it is. Abu Sayyid al-Khudri. Here, I'm not lying. Sahih Muslim. Abu Sayyid al-Khudri reported that the Battle of Hunain, Allah's messenger sent an army to Autaz and encountered the enemy and fought with them. Having overcome them and taken them captives, the companions of Allah's messenger seemed to refrain. And you say you read Arabic, right? You're going to read the Arabic for me.
Yes.
Okay, the Arabic is right here. Right here. Seemed to refrain from having intercourse with captive women because their husbands being polytheists. So they didn't want to have sex because their pagan husbands were still alive. Allah said, no, don't worry about it. He sent down Surah An-Nisa 24. And women already married except those whom your right hands possess, i.e. they were lawful for them. Meaning, no, they're lawful for you. Just make sure they're not pregnant. They're iddah. You just condemned Muhammad. You said you'd rather die than have someone do it. But that's what your prophet did to other people's wives. Why are you a Muslimah?
So we're talking about slavery now, and
No. We're talking about taking captive women in jihad, and they're married. It's not slaves. It's the Muslims doing jihad fi sabilillah. And whether you like it or not, they're doing it right now. In Syria, they're doing it right now. In Afghanistan, and in Syria, what did Isil, what did Al-Qaeda do when they entered Syria? What did they do to women? What did they do to
they
them?
did horrible things. They took Yazidis and they raped them and they sold
That's
them.
because they followed this. Why don't you be honest? They were doing what your prophet said here. You just said it's horrible. So then why are you still a Muslimah? Right here, I gave it to you. Here, read the link. I'm going to give it to you. Read in Arabic if you don't believe me.
Yeah,
They were following your prophet.
So
why are you honest? Be honest with me. Why are you read it black and white? This is sunnah.com. This is not christian.com. I didn't quote Christian source. Sahih Muslim. There's the Arabic. Based on Surah An-Nisa. This is the ayah of the Quran, Kitab Allah, and the sunnah of your prophet. And you just said they did horrible things and I'd rather die. But that's what your prophet did.
So from the Muslim paradigm, it is not rape because they basically own these people.
But what did you say if I owned you? I take you and I own you. And I said, no, listen, woman, it's not rape. I own you. Your husband is not your husband. I own you. I'm going to have sex with you. So you're not going to say it's rape? Just because I said it's not rape because I own you?
I'm not sure if consent should be taken.
No, there is no consent. No, I'm going to say, I knew you're going to say that. But let's say you're right. You're telling me a sane woman, a sane moral woman is going to consent to have sex with her captive, especially her husband's alive?
Most likely no.
But hold on. Jalal al-Din al-Suyuti, right? Lubab al-Nuqul fi asbab al-Nuzul. Suyuti, al-Suyuti. On this ayah, look what he says. It is narrated on authority of Ibn Abbas that he said, when it was the day of Hunain, and Allah Almighty helped the Muslims conquer Hunain, the Muslims got female captives from the people of scripture, Ahl al-Kitab, meaning Jews or Christian. If a man liked to have sexual intercourse with any woman of them, whom his right hands possess, she would say to him, I have a husband. Hey, wait, I have a husband. Allah sent down the verse saying, doesn't matter. Where's the consent?
I'm not sure if Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah follow Jalaluddin al-Suyuti.
Ya ukhti, this is the sunnah of your prophet. This is Sahih Muslim, Sahih Bukhari, Jami al-Tirmidhi. When you say what Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'ah say today, and today they'll tell you, if you don't have a khilafah, if you don't have a khalif, you can't do any of this. I know that. Forget about what you can't do. In the time of the khilafah, when you had a caliphate, they were doing this left, right, and center. Umar was doing it. Abu Bakr was doing it. Ali was doing it. Because this is a sunnah of your prophet. So again, there is no consent. Are you okay with this? This is what your prophet did, and this is what his companions did. This is what the Salaf did to Jews, Christians, and other kafirah. This is what they did. When they went to Egypt, when they went to the Levant, Syria, your ancestors were Christian in Syria and Lebanon, Jordan. What happened? When the Muslims came, they imposed Islam, and then eventually you ended up becoming Muslim because the Muslims raped your ancestors and married them. But the Christians could not marry the Muslim woman. You have in your blood the blood of rapists if you're from Syria. This is your history. I'm not lying. This is your history. You can't deny it, because when Omar entered the Levant and he attacked Syria and he attacked Urdun and he attacked Lebanon and Jerusalem, these were Christian strongholds. Majority Christian. They were in the possession of Christians. Where are they? You have in your blood women who were raped by the Muslim men. So again, are you okay with this?
I live in 2024, and this sounds super strange and weird to talk about.
But sister, it was even weird for Moses. Do you know why? Let me show you the difference between Moses' God and your prophet. 2,200 years before your prophet. You know what God told Moses? Here it is. So if you ask me, well, Sam, how do you know this is evil? What's your standard? The God of the Bible. The God that Muhammad said sent him. Look what God says when the Israelites go to war and they find a captive woman. Look at the difference. This was given 2,200 years before your prophet's sunnah. Deuteronomy 21, 10 and 14. When you go out to do battle with your enemies, and the Lord your God allows you to prevail, and you take prisoners, now watch, if you should see among them an attractive woman, whom you wish to take as a wife, notice, you can't just have sex with her. You have to make her your wife. You may bring her back to your house. She must shave her head, trim her nails, discard the clothing she was wearing when captured, stay in her house, lamenting, crying for her father and mother full month, meaning you give her a full month to mourn the death of her parents, and you don't touch her whole month. After that, you may sleep with her and become her husband, and she your wife. There is no raping. You marry her and you give her the status of a wife, make her equal to Israelite women. If
so
you're not
she basically becomes his wife, and according to the Jewish tradition, she can leave whenever she wants.
Yeah, right here, verse 14. If you're not pleased with her, then you must let her go where she pleases. You cannot in any case sell her. You must not take advantage of her. She's already humiliated her, meaning that you attacked her people because there's a war. Then, now that you end up divorcing her, she's free to go where she wants. You can't sell her. Right there. This is 2,200 years before your prophet. How come your prophet didn't follow this?
So, okay, I need to ask three questions, three short questions, yes or no questions about this passage. If in case of taking a slave during war,
you can't
cannot
take a slave woman for sex. That's the point.
So you have a slave, and then if you wanted to have sex with her, you have to marry her, and
right here.
You cannot sell her.
Right here.
You cannot.
Sister, I'm not trying to cut you off. It's here. If you find among the prisoners, an attractive woman, you make her your wife. It's right here. I mean, you don't need to ask me. It's here. And you can't have sex right away. You then have her shave her head, sign up mourning, trim her nails, change her clothes, fresh clothes, and you wait a full month. Then you make her your wife and you're her husband. It's right here. Why? I don't need to ask me. It's here. Then if you're not pleased with her, like men and women don't last, there's divorce. She is to go where she wants. You let her go. You cannot sell her. You cannot take advantage of her. So you don't need to ask me. It's right here. Here, let me enlarge the screen.
Okay.
See it?